Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing great. Hope that everyone out there is doing absolutely fantastic and that you're all having a wonderful day. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Very big thank you to everyone out there who leaves a like. It helps out the channel a lot. And without any further ado, let's jump right into it. A bit of a different one today. This one made the rounds. A couple of months ago, we did not have, what do you call it? Like really popular crypto news for quite some time. A huge portion of the cryptocurrency space over many years, there was always typically like one really super mega ultra popular news story. You'd be able to find it on nearly every single website talking about it. That kind of slowed down a lot of the news we had. Was about companies buying Bitcoin, Ethereum. This is going to happen. This bill might be signed. This bill's doing this. New Hampshire just did this. That kind of thing. We've kind of swung almost completely back around to how news used to be. One of the more interesting ideas within the cryptocurrency space has always been a rather extreme one. The belief of many Bitcoin maximalists is that Bitcoin is going to be the only coin. I know that sounds ridiculous. I even lightly think, okay, that's kind of pushing it a bit. One of the core ideas is that as many of these coins and these chains and these projects can kind of all do the exact same thing, at some point, Bitcoin would upgrade enough to have thousands and tens of thousands of transactions, layer 2s and layer 3s, and basically people would kind of just choose Bitcoin as their crypto of choice. And all the other coins would basically... So, remember how... And you've seen it. A lot of the last year and a half, we've mainly seen a lot of movements in Bitcoin, but a lot of the other, like coin number 128, coin 250, they weren't really doing as well. The idea would be is that money would essentially keep flowing into Bitcoin. Let's say 70% of all money flows into Bitcoin. And then it's like 1%, 0.5% for some of the other coins. Eventually, Bitcoin's price gets so big and outperforms the other coins that then it kind of, but you'll see. So this made very, very, very popular news. Cannot stress that enough. A man by the name of Young Hoon Kim, known as the man with the highest IQ in the world, has made a prediction about the future of Bitcoin. He believes that Bitcoin will grow. He's expecting Bitcoin to grow as much as 100-fold. Yes, over the next decade and become a global reserve asset. He's expecting a 100x in Bitcoin's price over the course of the next 10 years. You know what that also sounds like? A lot of the other news we were getting before, a lot of the other people have been saying the exact same thing. And the idea of Bitcoin as a or the global reserve asset is also nothing really new. How many times over the last 10 years have we heard that Bitcoin is digital gold? Bitcoin's going to take over gold. Bitcoin's going to be the currency of choice. And I mean, if we can also be just completely honest with ourselves, the amount of momentum that we keep seeing with these companies and countries buying up Bitcoin, it seems a little bit believable. While the predictions sound bold, because everything is bold now, it's worth taking a closer look at who Kim is and why he's speaking so strongly about Bitcoin, keeping in mind this was incredibly popular news. Young Hoon Kim is a South Korean intellectual and entrepreneur. Wow. He is the founder of the United Sigma Intelligence Association, okay, an organization that researches intelligence and creative thinking. He also serves as an honorary professor there, I expected nothing less, specializing in cognitive education and strategy. His work focuses on thought analysis and leaderships. Geez Louise. He apparently has an IQ of 276. The result was verified by institutions such as the official world record in the World Memory Championships. Yada yada. He's amazing. He's really smart. He's a grandmaster of memory, Mensa. Fantastic. Outside of his academic work, Kim actively follows the cryptocurrency market. He's a Bitcoin enthusiast. What? I would have never guessed that one. This man's talking about Bitcoin's going to be a reserve currency. I assume he didn't even know what Bitcoin was. He's a Bitcoin enthusiast and emphasizes its unique role in the global financial system. In one of his posts on Twitter, he shared an extremely optimistic forecast. He believes Bitcoin will not only increase in value, but also transform the entire economic landscape. Do you remember all the news we've been getting about staking Bitcoin and holding Bitcoin? What's this other thing? Oh, gosh. The entire tokenization, everything being digital, everything being on chain. While we have had a large amount of news about tokenization, mainly, or a large portion of it taking place on top of Ethereum, another chain that sometimes people forget is also Bitcoin. A lot of people are planning on tokenizing trillions of dollars worth of assets also on top of Bitcoin as well. He said, and I do quote, according to my theoretical analysis, in the next 10 years, Bitcoin will grow at least 100-fold and be widely adopted as the ultimate reserve asset. And American Bitcoin will become the #1 company in the world by market capitalization. 10 years will go by quick. I'll say this as a thought here. I kind of assumed where we are right now in crypto was eventually going to take place in like the 2030s or 2040s. This level of adoption that we have tells me personally, someone knows something is up, something is planned, something has been in the works, because it would feel really weird otherwise if all these countries, all these nation states, all these sovereign wealth funds, hundreds of companies, institutions, hedge funds, universities, central banks, all randomly just decided to start accumulating Bitcoin. Every single time this year that we had news about these things, I was always saying, like, make note of this because it is a little weird. We had, I think, 3 companies last year and before in the past who were actively buying Bitcoin. It was MicroStrategy since like a year and a half. It was Tesla. And there was another company, and Tesla bought it just to like be in the news to say that they bought it. We didn't have any reserve companies. The idea of a reserve, Bitcoin as a reserve is a crazy idea. The dollar has been a reserve since the 1940s. Gold has been a reserve for as long as we can possibly imagine. These are things that have been around for quite some time. Bitcoin's been around for 16 years, and automatically people are like, hey, this is a reserve. This is a strategy. De-dollarization has picked up quite quick this year. All the times we talked about de-dollarization here and on the other channel. How many companies are getting rid of their real estate? Remember that one company who's selling, if you missed it, company is selling $11 billion. That is billion with a B. $1 billion worth of real estate and putting it into Bitcoin. They sold $1 billion, bought $1 billion worth of Bitcoin and said, we plan on selling another $10 billion and throwing it. And I was like, that, you either really believe in Bitcoin or something behind the scenes has been decided, because there's no way. And even then, for me, I find evidence to be quite strong. You know, if you, as I was always told when I was younger, if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, gosh darn it, it's a duck. If we keep hearing every single day that these companies and these institutions and these governments are mining Bitcoin and buying Bitcoin, by the 17th time, I have no choice but to believe that it's actually happening. When we start seeing these Japanese textile companies and salons and nail companies announcing that they're no longer doing nails or making clothing or making furniture, that they're hotel businesses, they don't care about them anymore, and they're trying to buy 210,000 Bitcoin, and we have never had this news before. That's the power of doing a video every single day, is being able to compile that knowledge in my head and being like, wait, we've had thousands of days go by together and we've never had news like that before. And now we're getting it all the time. 10 years is a long time, but it's also a short time in the grand scheme of things, if you actually will. I'm actually really interested personally to see where we are by 2030, because if you were here in 2017, we heard, and I don't know why, we heard an abundance of news. Crypto will do this in 2025. Prices will be this in 2025 when we get to 2020. And it was always this, like, you know, and I mean, they were way off in their predictions. Like, prices were a lot lower. Adoption was a lot lower. No one could have imagined all of these things. The news that we get now, remember the price predictions for 2028. If you weren't here, I'm going to fill you in. Price predictions for 2028 for crypto is a over $100 XRP. It was a $25,000 to $30,000 Ether. It was over $1 million Bitcoin. And I keep hearing those things. And I remember in the beginning, I was like, these prices sound nuts. And then then you roam on through 2025 and you go, okay, well, maybe the numbers make a little bit more sense now with all the news that we keep getting. If by 2030, Bitcoin's price is like $2 million, I don't know what I would actually do. I think a part of me would probably, in vain, panic and try and tell as many people as possible that, like, hey, it's $2 million. Like, get in before it's 100 million. But I think that still won't actually work. Like, think about it. What in the world are you going to do if in 10 years Bitcoin plays the same exact role as the US dollar? Like, think about it. Think about what it would mean to have 0.01 Bitcoin. Remember, in summertime, there were a couple of videos like that as well. There were a lot of these people who were coming forward and they were like, yeah, you don't actually even need 0.28. You need 0.01. That will literally get you through life once you have that much Bitcoin. What does that mean for those of you who over the years have been accumulating and you do have a quarter of a Bitcoin? If 1 million Satoshis gets you through life, what happens with a quarter of a Bitcoin? What happens if you have a full Bitcoin? What happens for money-wise as far as staking, the money that you make passively? Something obviously, this isn't even a guesstimation. Something big is happening. The issue is that time. We have to like see this actually unfold and play out in some form or capacity. But the way that things are moving, this is kind of telling me that all this has kind of been decided. Like, I think we are going to live in a multi-crypto world similar to how we have multiple currencies. Do you understand the wealth that will be made if Bitcoin does 100x in price for Bitcoin? And like, have you thought about like how much money you would have? Like the actual prospect of never having to work again. What that would mean for like generational wealth, for being able to acquire like real estate, doing anything you want in life. I think about these things a lot because when I first started looking at crypto, prices were like peanuts. And it took me 3 years to get any kind of courage to put like $1 into the market because I was like, I don't know what this is. Like this is and all the misinformation that was going on years ago. So even when I did start this channel and I got into the market, I think I was putting like $20 per month into I think XRP or something like that. And I was like, let's see where this goes. By the time we got to the middle of 2017, I was like, okay, let's, start upping the numbers. But even then, like, we could not have foreseen everything that's playing out. And I think it's only going to get even wilder from here. His prediction sparked widespread debate. Of course. Some see it as confirmation of Bitcoin's exceptional potential, while others see it as too bold of a statement. However, Kim believes Bitcoin is a natural candidate for a global reserve asset. I think this isn't even, I don't even think he's blowing things out of proportion. Even if Bitcoin doesn't become like the THEEE reserve currency for the world in the next 10 years, it's going to be over several $1 million per coin. All this tokenization stuff will have taken place. The amount of money flowing through the chain now is crazy. This is 2 years ago. We had news that I think every month Bitcoin was transacting over $1 trillion worth of value, chugging along 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365. Not any hiccups at all. That was with 3 to 5 transactions per second, trillions of dollars in value per month. With all this adoption that we're getting, all these rules and regulations and laws and things, being a thumbs up in crypto's direction, what happens in 10 years? What happens to the price? If we have countries now, if we have governments now, if we have companies now being like, we don't want our local currency, we want Bitcoin, the price is going to go up. The more the price goes up, the more people get into it. Oh boy. Yeah, this was very, 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 very popular news. I do think a lot of this is going to happen. I do ask all of you to continuously remind yourself of everything that's going on. The little amount of Bitcoin still left on exchanges, the huge amount of Bitcoin being purchased by these hundreds of companies. We just had a news story recently. One company just purchased another 5,000 because they wanted to do so. That's taking away, anyway, you hopefully get the point. Yeah, things are only going to get crazier from here. Make sure you're on the train doing something. I do hope you've all enjoyed. I do hope you all are having a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever the heck you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and supporting the channel. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.